Howdy YouTube, this is Serptonius. We're starting back up again with Empyrion Galactic Survival. I believe this is episode 6. So like I said in the last episode, I went ahead and painted the rest of this original base up. Did not get a chance to moving the solar panels before the my multi-tool ran out. You see in the bottom right, ammo is 0 out of 0. But I did get it painted up. We finished building it. Walk you through. I moved the grow plots from that little starter area. I moved them over here, so we've got pumpkins and the blue peppers growing. Painted this up. I believe I showed creating those sensors online. So you can see this light here above me turns on when I come into range, and when I move out, it turns off. I did the same with this one. Here is the sensor for that. So these other ones I have set up. Ready to go. I do not have the grow light because I do not have the grow plots yet. And this one as well, same story. And this last one is the one where it did have the large constructor. Well, I moved that to this level up here. I don't have any lights yet, so let's turn on my suit light. So put that guy there upside down. My plan is to eventually swap out all of these blocks here for the cargo containers, and maybe some in here. And then I want to leave enough room so I can walk from the elevator to each one of these different platforms so we can head out that way. So that's why I put it up on tops, because if I put it on the bottom, then that would block the door. Do not want to do that. So and as you saw as I came down that elevator, then the light turned on when I got within sensor range of this guy. So all the sensors turn on and off as I go between the different areas. So that saves on power. Also painted this guy the orange that I use for any of the very beginning vehicles. And I noticed that this one corner somewhere along the way got a little bit of damage. Oh, did not get that painted. Let's just show that up. This guy and this one, and there we go. Bet you I didn't get it painted underneath. Am I going to be able to get underneath there? I think I could come in through here. Yep, I can on this side. And there we go. And again, you saw that was the very bright green teal on there that I have anywhere that is that needs more attention. So let's go to the side and I'll show you this next part. So you want to make sure that you don't have anything in your hand, because if you do have anything in your hand, it will show up in the picture that gets taken. So get close to here, hit Alt-O, and then you will be able to then create a blueprint of this base. Now this is going to be this guy's name, basically. So this is that's what I name all of them, and this is going to be a base. That's one of my 3 designs. And I call this one the Hideout. And this is actually going to be version 11 of this guy. So then it gets saved, F2. And here we go. It shows that it's contained forbidden block or wrong version. That is actually because I have stuff that is inside that grow plot, but I wanted to show you how to create this blueprint. The way to save that is if I went into that grow plot and took the blue peppers and the pumpkins out, well, then I will be able to save it. But I just wanted to show you guys this. So if I go into the factory and put in each one of these different resources, I could have the base as it stands right now instantly pop out if I have this resources. So that's pretty cool on that. I just wanted to get a snapshot of that so we could come back to that if we need to. So let's turn this guy on. Power left is 93 minutes, so I'm not too worried about that. And let's head off over to this unknown artifact that I had talked about in the last one. We have done a lot of building in that last episode. Want to now get out and do some stuff. You'll notice that the blocks are glowing orange. That is that texture. It's actually a emissive texture. I like to use those on blocks to act as lights without lights. So it actually gives out a little bit of light, but it doesn't use any extra energy. So that's kind of cool. And it does actually provide just a bit of light. So we're in the Polaris territory. You can see that we're neutral because up on the top right it has that orange square. So this is locate the spot 1. We're approaching it. That has been done. So now let's, where is spot 2? It says it's the unknown artifact again. This mission doesn't always work too good. So the only one I've got on my radar is that one unknown artifact in front of me. And that does show as the mission pointer. As you can see, this is a very large planet that we need to still need to investigate. So when this happens, F1, we're doing the Talon missions, scout the legacy POIs. I am going to go ahead and manually mark this one as complete. Not much else that I can do about that. So now this one is yellow, so that means we can do that one again. But instead we're going to move on to this next one, torching the weed. Harvest wood logs. So I'm going to go out of the Polaris territory. And it doesn't say which logs that we should harvest. Oops. Heading the wrong way. I head back towards our base. Like I'm hitting every single tree along the way. Headed back home. Just mainly want to get out of the Polaris territory just to make sure that there's no questions as to who, so there's no problems with me cutting down trees. Defense mode. Just make sure that this is what it's looking for. Yep, that is exactly what it's looking for. It's 4 out of 20 now. Those are those raptors. I want to back up before they see me. This guy has a bunch. So I can use the chainsaw if I want, but that uses up fuel. Still really early game, so it would be faster with that, but don't want to use any fuel beyond what I have to. Actually, I've done all of my harvesting so far with just the survival tool. Okay, head over to these trees real quick. Mainly just want to get this one done so we can move on to the next one. Trying to keep my head on a swivel, make sure that I don't see any of those spiders or the aggressive dinosaurs. Okay, 13 out of 20. Still not quite there yet. Those are the non-aggressive ones. Over there to the right. Okay. I did not hit the big gun. Surprised I didn't. Okay. 18 out of 20, almost there. Okay, completed. And a bunch more gold. Here's a vehicle. Jump back on here to the F1. Next one is action and reaction. I think this one is okay. I think this one is surviving or doing some drone attacks. Which is where we will start. Now keep in mind this one doesn't have any water capability, so we need to make sure we stay over dry land. Which is kind of a problem because I always get in the habit as soon as I get a hovercraft. First thing I do is I follow the water around because it is so much easier. You're not hitting all of these different trees and different decor and resources and all the rest of it. Ooh, made that jump. Good. Oh, can I make this jump? Yes, I can. Cool. Okay. Run down here. I'm honored. That's good. Nope. Stuck on another tree. Must be getting close. I'm starting to see the resources of the settlement. Feel they're already coming. Okay. This is where we start. Whoa! Hey, did not expect these, definitely. That is not what I expected. Okay. I thought that would be drones. Where is my backpack? Over here. Okay. This is not going to end well at all. Maybe I will just try to lead them away before they kill me this time. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to get away. Okay. This is going a lot harder than I expected here, folks. Okay. Don't mind dying here and there, that's part of the game, but I'm in no way ready to fight that cohort of baddies. So let's see from here. See if I can get my backpack at least. So F5s, I could get all that. And just shift click it in. I do not want to hit their base. That's not going to win me any friends. So I got one of them at least. Wow, this is going to be painful. Really thought this was another drone mission. Yeah, put me right in front of that guy. That's a help. Thanks, guys. Maybe I'll just keep these guys away from my other backpack over there. Really best I can do to hope against all of those guys without any weapons is just die away from my other backpack. There is a timer on that other backpack, so I will need to move relatively quickly. Cannot dilly-dally forever, because that does have a timer on it. Maybe I can be inside their base. Oh, that's lovely. I think that can I get to it? I can. Okay. Did not think that was going to work out for me. Okay. Okay, reload the guns. Okay. That worked out real good. Do not pick any of these plants. They won't like it until you are a higher friendly level. do not do that. So, I've got 2 of the 5 killed now. Make sure that I'm up on reloaded. Got this guy over here. You do want to try to get them in the head. It does make a difference. Those guys spawned right there. It does matter where you get them at. You notice that guy got... there was a lot of different resources on there. So... left click on that. I only need to kill 2 more, and there's 2 more right there. I have not seen those guys give me any help whatsoever. Alright, got him. Again, gotta be careful. Don't do any friendly fire at all. I once accidentally shot one of those patrols, and took me a long time to get that faction rep back. So really be careful whenever you're firing those guns, that there's no friendly fire whatsoever. Just want to make sure Shift F to do the quick check. Whew! Okay, that was a lot more difficult than I expected. My armor has probably got to be down to nothing. Yeah, the armor durability is 0 out of 400, so it's basically at this point just a jetpack and a light. Go ahead and get that one as well. I was hoping I could get some good loot off that, but that's really not good loot. Anyway, that was quite problematic. That was a lot more trouble than what I thought it was going to give me. Let's bring it all the way up to the top and head back home. Actually, since we're here, and we really, why don't we head west? So if you're ever, yeah, I've got 80 minutes left. So definitely want to head, if you're just exploring the planet, west is the way to go, because that follows the sun's path. And that'll give you the longest amount of daylight. So the main thing I'm looking for here is just trying to find a abandoned POI that is relatively safe to loot. I've got a little bit of weapons on me, so I can take care of that. Don't have any food on me, so hopefully I can find some corn dogs or something. Not gonna find it at the top, but wanted to see what is up here. Again, need to make sure I don't go over water. So that's gonna be a bit of a problem with this seed. Looks like there is a lot of water. Again, you can float quite nicely over, you start up high enough, you can just float to the next bit of land. Okay, made it across, and again, just want to head west. At some point, I might actually outdistance the sun and get to where morning is actually hasn't broken yet. Doing okay so far. 80-something minutes left. Found low mountains. Haven't found anything other than that one Polaris and that one Talon area, which is just fine. Okay, this coming in on another swamp area. Not a problem. Okay. Again, and breakfast, or the morning has just barely broken. I'm gonna pick up some vegetables. I can turn those into the health bars, or the energy bars if I pick enough. Just going to pick up a little bit. Notice on the... so if I continue to the west, there is something that just barely pops up on the radar. I am going to want to figure out what that is all about. Space bar. We're going to get the food going. Oh, I have some food stored from a previous time, so that is good. Okay, some of that may expire, but that's fine. The important thing is that because I will be making those food bars and leaving them in my suit constructor, they actually will not, the energy bars will not expire. See, this is the confetti moss that we definitely want. One of the drawbacks to exploring is without a decent vehicle is your food may expire. I'm just kind of burning off a little bit of time, letting the sun catch up with me. Yeah, I saw another vegetable over here. Some more supplements. Again, this is good for experience. I get like 100 experience each one of these. And I get more resources in which to build with. So win all the way around. I'm trying to keep a good lookout for the fire moss, and that is in the swamp, and it is somewhat clumped together, but I don't see any. It is not as easy to see as the confetti moss scrapings. Got all these right? No, I didn't. And if you just go through here with the on a vehicle, you're much more likely to just miss it entirely. If I find one, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we've got 78 minutes left. Doing pretty good. You notice that there is the... Okay, so on the radar, there's... On the outer ring, shows that there's something to the west. And on the inside, it shows how many. So it shows that there is one item off to the west. And again, we kind of have to be careful. Because we do not have... okay, so now it's off to the south. Cannot go over the water just yet. We will definitely be making another hover vehicle but I thought having these too many building episodes back to back is just kind of a pain. Is that? No, that's one of those guys. Still haven't seen any of the fire moss scrapings yet. Still something to this. Was that? No, it's just silicon. Something still to the south. Now it's to the east. So it must be on the other side of the lake. See if we can get around to it without too much hassle. So there is plenty of rocks here that are resources that we can pick up, so that's fantastic. There is now something to the west as well, so we can see what that's all about. I am hopeful that because it's just a single hit in this direction, that it is something that we can mine for go for resources. What it does appear, though, that it's something that is in the middle of the lake, because from here it is north. There it is. We found it. It's the crashed capital vessel. We've had plenty of run-ins with those green guys, so stay that away. So out in the middle of the lake, there is a capital vessel that we could loot. Not going to do that at this time. We do not have enough carrying capacity. At this point, it's only what we can carry ourselves, and that's not very much. So we will continue to head west from here. I'm hoping that we can circumnavigate the planet at least once and hopefully find something that's worth looting. I do not have very much carrying capacity at this point, so at this this is really just a scouting mission just to see what's going on. There's an unknown helix. I don't remember from just the name what that's going to be. Okay, so if you see up at the extreme top, there is a red container below the green arrow. That is what you were looking for. We can loot that, but there's really nothing else in that other than that one at this point. And most of the time what's in there, I'm going to need a much larger ship and with carrying capacity to loot. So I'm just going to leave that one marked and continue to move on to the west. Awesome. Okay, so this area here, this is where we will find just promethium loose, just like we have found the rocks. There's some right there, as a matter of fact. So right here, where'd it go? Okay, there it is. So this is the promethium rock. This is exactly like the copper and the stone, stone and the iron, and the silicon that we have been picking up so far. Just sitting on top. Do not need to drill for it. Just sitting on the top, ready to be picked up. So this area does have some baddies in it sometimes. Don't want to go around too much, but definitely want to pick up some loose promethium if we can find some. So this, come on, okay. This is the Pentaxid. Also very good to have. So we're going to need that later on whenever we do shields and other... okay. So off. Okay, there's that bug that I was talking about. These are nasty, as we saw earlier. Again, just moving around, jumping around, not being stuck in one point, making sure everything's reloaded. There are some guys over there. I don't know if those are Xerax or Talon from here. My guess is that they're Xerax. It's a Xerax patrol. Don't know that this is a good idea or not, but let's go see what we can do. Yeah, see, have to be careful and confirm who they are before you start shooting them. Those are Talon. We definitely do not want to anger them. We want to continue to be friends for as long as we can with those guys. I'm not seeing any other Promethean or Pentaxid. Don't want to get too far from my vehicle either. But so far, this is a very good expedition. The Promethean will do us well. The Pentaxid we will definitely want later on. A little bit more Pentaxid. So the Pentaxid, or the Promethean will be great. We will be able to make a another charge for the multi-drill. All kinds of crazy noises up in here. I'm not seeing anything else real quick. Again, the other thing that we need to do is kind of get dilly-dally a little bit so that the sun continues to move its way westward. Okay, found a really nasty guy up there. If you can see it floating in the distance, that is a definite point of interest POI that we will be wanting to take care of later on. Now is not the time. See how this is doing. See if we can make some more. We will need a small vessel to get all the way up to the top where that's at so we can explore it. I saw just a hair. If I can get unstuck. I saw the Promethean right there. Okay. Nope, not the multi-tool. Again, that Promethean will serve us very well. And eventually, I like to have all of it on the auto miners and not actually mine out the deposits. You can mine out the deposits. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a valid play style. But since they put in the auto miners, I just prefer to use those and then pick up these guys. Do it that way. Okay. So we cannot head due west. So I'm going to try to head a little bit to the south and west. No idea who that guy was. Let's see if we can... Oh, that's another bug. No reason to get with him. He's not guarding, and there's nothing to get out. Let's play with him. So... try to head south. And, okay, and O to flip back over. Trying to head just... Okay. Easy, heading out into open country again. That'll be nice. So normally in those Pentaxid areas that we were in, there's at least one Prometheum. Many times they're guarded. So... lucked out we didn't hit any drones or Xerax patrols, but we also didn't hit any of the Prometheum that we could mine out. So again, getting closer to that Spire, I believe is what it's called. Continuing to head west. And just make it. Good, good, good. Eventually we will have the small vessel, and this will be a lot easier because we can just fly over all of this ground. But I also think that you kind of miss what the land is actually like whenever you're doing that. It would also help if I was able to raise up the vehicle so it's not quite as low to the ground. But this that would require changing out the hover engines, and the better hover engines require RCS and thrusters to move around, where this one does not. So that's the main reason why I'm not bothering to do that. This vehicle is such an inexpensive runabout. It just is very nice. And really, if I really had to, I could make another one just like it, probably with the materials I have collected from those swamp golems. If I had to make another one, which is real nice. Whoops. Okay. Okay, we're entering Xerax territory, but there is just a single item on the radar. So it's possible. Whoops, there's a Xerax patrol right there. Jumped out of their sight. They didn't even react to me being there. I'm now outside the Xerax patrol area. So it is to the west. Zoom around just a little bit. See if I can see what that unfriendly. So I'm just trying to scout around. I'd like to see what the actual center point is. Here, I can show you on the map. So there's this big circle, and there will only be, in this particular one, a single dot of what makes the Xerax control this area. So we can figure out what that is. We can figure out how hard that's going to be. The spaceport, I don't think that's very... that I think we can take. If we get a good enough hover vehicle, I think we can take that one. Yes, I hear you, Spider. I'll leave you alone. So, that's good news. So the close one by is just a spaceport. Now, the problem is we should have left... Okay, we did. Yep, it's just a single item with a level 2 spaceport in the center. Not a big problem. Once we get a vehicle of any shape, really, we should be able to get that. Now, there's still something... Oh, there is. Again, it's in the middle of the lake. We're going to need something to get in there. This is not the vehicle for that. So, two crashed vehicles so far. Neither one of them we can loot. We found a spaceport. I'm going to need to defang it by taking off the turrets before we can actually get in there and do something with that. And you've seen now we've actually flipped to the other side of the planet because this crash shuttle is now closer in front of me than my base is behind me. So we're now on the opposite side of the entire planet from the starting area. And it's getting dark. And there we go. The base has swapped over to the other side. So we're now getting over closer to the other side. And here is the crashed vessel. This is very likely the same vehicle that is underwater. I'm trying to remember. I think the cargo hatches, if there is any that can be looted, is up on this front area, if I remember right. Ooh, so this is a constructor, a large constructor, so that would be nice. Here we go. Here is exactly what I was looking for, and it's empty. Energy matrix, that is an awesome find this early, and some more energy matrix. That is an awesome find. 9 energy matrix. Even better, a pistol upgrade kit. That is fantastic this early in the game. Large O2 tank. I might get that, but I'm more interested in energy if I can get it. I will take the O2 if there is no energy to be had. I think that's off in this direction. There's the O2. Okay. think that's energy storage right there. Again, this is also why in the beginning I will use the survival tool, even though there is a drill that I can make. That's not really helpful, but I'll take it so I don't have to make it later on. Oh, this is fuel, definitely. So 532, that's the total content up at the top. And I've got 17 Promethium packs. That is fantastic. So, that is awesome to find this early. Eventually what I will do is I will come back and I will put my own core in this and convert this over to like a mini base for me temporarily, and then we can take the whole thing down from the top all the way to the bottom and use the multi-tool to pick up all of the goodies. I'm not finding. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember how this guy goes. This actually is one of the prefab vehicles that you can you put enough resources into the factory, you can have the factory create a brand new one of these for you. I thought okay, this area here is where the warp generator goes, if I remember right. This area here sits right there. Okay. And then it comes up here. And then there's a walkway across. Okay, this is where the SV is. I'm really looking for where the hover vessel is. And I don't remember this vehicle enough. Or this build enough. Anything in there? There's not. Oh, here we go. Another container. So here is some grow plots that we can take and put in our base to fill out the other ones. I think there might be some more on the other side that we can take out as well. take out too much because structural integrity will jump in and it could destabilize the whole wreck and have it come down around our ears. But if I remember right, the hangar area for the hover vessel also had some boxes. But I don't remember off the top of my head where those are. Well, that might have to wait for another trip, and especially we need to come back whenever we have better carrying capacity. This guy, if I remember right, also has a bunch of engines that we can take. So that's got some loot. And waited for the sun to catch up with us, so we're not too far off. So, see what the map looks like. So here is that the actual, what you could classify as the international date line. That is the actual map end and the map begin. So just trying to look around a little bit, give the sun a chance to move a little bit higher in the sky before I head west. We will definitely be heading towards the crash shuttle. I was hoping to make it all the way home for this episode, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. We've already just about come to the end of this one. So I will leave it right here. And, well, what's that? Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I will leave it right here. We will continue on from here, making our way across the rest of this planet whenever we come back the next episode. So I wish everyone to have a great day, and like and subscribe. If you have any questions or something that I didn't explain clear enough, drop a line down in the bottom, and I will continue on from then, and I'll try to figure out the best answer. I'll chase that down for you. With that, have a great day, and take it easy, YouTube.